We've got loads of fan questions, as we always do. We get too many that we could ever get round to, but here are the best ones of the previous week. And the first one is from Justin Rourke, Hot Springs, Arkansas. And he says, Mr. Dutch, when you were in the Federation...
You hear that? Mr. Dutch.
Formal.
Thank you, sir.
Formal. When you were in the Federation in the 90s, were you ever privy to the rumor that Howard Finkel was a massive porn aficionado?
Was I privy to the rumor that Howard Finkel was a porn aficionado? Mm-hmm. Well, I think back in those days, a lot of us maybe might have been tuning in to watch that. I didn't know that, but I don't know how you would interpret that. So if he was, I don't care. So, but I never heard that. I really didn't. So
also, it was also, it says, did you witness anybody rib him? Howard was known as one of the nicest workers in the WWF, and Paul Bearer has said that Finkel was often bullied to the point of tears.
Well, I never heard him bullied. And I haven't even heard that.
Huh?
I haven't even heard that. I don't know who would do that. But when I was there, no, he wasn't bullied. He always treated me very, very nice. And I always thought he was a good guy. So, and whoever bullied him, they shouldn't have done that. But this was before they had like rules. That's before they even had any politeness in WWE, because, brother, it was like a goddamn Western bar when you go in there sometimes. Guys say what they want to do what they want to do. And I think this was almost the same time that Davey Boy and who was the guy who was one of the Hart's cousin that got messed up, or
Cousin?
No, it was the Ribber.
Owen.
I mean, Owen, and another one who was
Neidhart?
No, he wasn't a part of the family. He was somebody else. But anyway, they had guys that were tremendous ribbers, and they may have pulled a rib on Fink, and that he didn't know how to handle, or.
Well, it wasn't that. It was the office, I believe. I've heard stories, quite a few stories about Howard Finkel. He was just the office whipping boy, and they just treat him like crap.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, coming from Vince and people like that.
Well, yeah, but Vince. See, I can say one thing about Vince. Vince never said one word out of the way to me. Never. And even when he would, I left the show one night. I think it was Raw, and they had just put me with Alberto Del Rio. They had just put me with him, and they had this, I guess, League of Nations thing they were putting together. Well, nobody told me. You remember the League of Nations?
Oh God, yeah, that was horrible.
Oh, horrible. It wasn't that damn good. Mm. But they didn't tell me, but we were on last. They put me with Alberto, but didn't tell me about they had him in a match on the last segment of the show. And then Vince was saying, where's Zeb? Where's Zeb? He said, well, he's gone. He went, son of a bitch, that damn crafty, sly bastard got out of here. Never said a word to me the next day. Alberto Del Rio just went out there without me.
I've just realized I've got the shot of the Japanese milk in there. I'll get rid of that.
How is that?
It's less refrigerated than the first one I got, so it doesn't taste quite as nice. Have you got any more stories about Howard, or where do you... Yeah, any more stories about Howard first?
Oh, I never had any stories about him anyway, to tell you the truth.
What did he do in the back, apart from the announcing? What was his role?
He was the announcer. Is all I know. He would hang around, and I never saw him. I would see him up in Vince's office, and he would get the lineup for the show. And that's all I saw him do. I never heard of anybody trying to get really physical with him or rib him really hard, which I probably, but see, Vince, knowing Vince, they would do that. So they would run little Howard through the vine, I guess, and they'd have all a big chuckle about it. Vince thought it was funny as hell. Mr. Finkel didn't. So, but I kind of stayed to myself, and unless it was brought to my attention, and if they had brought it to my attention, I would have torn that dressing room all to pieces. I'd have ripped and no, I never saw him get ribbed or even heard about it, to tell you the truth.
Well, let me ask you this then. Where does Howard Finkel rank as in the all-time greats ring announcers for you?
He'd be in the top 5 probably. I don't know who would be number 1. I never paid that much attention to him. Really, they were all he was the announcer at Madison Square Garden and Boston and the big towns. He was the announcer there. He didn't go he may have been in Philadelphia and in Baltimore. He may have been the announcer there. But I don't know. That's basically, I don't know what else he did. What he did, I think he
collected the porn.
He what?
He collected the pornography for everybody, apparently.
Well, yeah, but he reported back to Vince on, say, a WCW show or a Ring of Honor show, which kept Vince from watching it. But he said, Vince, and if he would point somebody out and Vince would look at it, yeah. But Vince, I heard he watched all those shows. He didn't watch all those shows. He didn't have time to watch all those shows. But that was Howard's job.